Excuse me, I got a quick question. Do y'all carry Leatherman?
Do you work Friday night?
Leatherman?
Yes, sir. Okay, if y'all did, it would be on this knife aisle. Yes, sir, it's right there.
Probably,
yes. Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so no Leatherman, but let's get something else. I know this is way different than Leatherman, but let's check this out. The Serrade Adder. We couldn't find a Leatherman, so let's get into this one. First, let's talk about the sheath. Now, you got two options of carrying this bad boy. You either got this clip for sliding it in your belt, or you can wear it as a necklace. Beautiful. Now, the knife itself, what caught my eye was that it was Oz 10, AUS 10 steel. Now, what I thought was cool about that is, one, I haven't came across that in the wild at a store before. Two, I'd say the Oz 10 is probably one of the better steels that you can get from a store on the cheap end. Because it's gonna be, I would say, better than HCR 13. It's gonna be better than Oz 8, of course, because it's number 10, it's a step higher. But being $14, $12, whatever that was, this is actually a pretty good deal because Oz 10 has about 1% carbon, which is pretty good for a cheap steel. And then on top of that, it's got like 13 or 14% chromium. So it's not gonna rust like a D2 steel. Which Oz 8, the good thing about that is it's cheap. It's a better steel than HCR 13, which typically that's what majority of the knives are you're gonna find in a big box store. If you're just looking for a quick knife to grab, it's probably gonna be that. And most of the time, I'd say they're even decently overpriced. But this so far has been good. Now, the one thing I don't like about this though is this handle. Now it's a non-slip, it calls it, but you know, it just feels like standard plastic. And it also sounds a little bit hollow. Like it just feels like if you had this on the ground and you stepped on it, I wonder if it would crack kind of situation. Maybe not quite stepping on it, but if you dropped it and it hit like a rock directly like that, I believe it probably would. Now, as for the sheath, it's pretty decent. It's got a nice click. And then on top of that, it's not gonna come out of there, hopefully. As far as I know, no, I'm just kidding. I better not do that. It's very tightly in there, okay? That's a good thing. Now, the handle back onto that is very thin too. For a fixed blade knife, typically the handles are a little bit more meaty because you're gonna be doing a whole lot more than just a standard pocket knife that folds kind of situation. You're gonna be using it for more outdoorsy kind of things, chopping. And the handle just is a little bit thin. But then again, it makes it nice too if you're gonna be wearing it more discreetly. So it's got its pros and cons to that, depending on what use you're looking for. But it does have a nice design. I do like how that fits. And your thumb has a perfect little resting place right behind there. Now anyways, let's see how sharp this bad boy is. Oh, I didn't even notice it. Must have fell out. It's like a little fortune cookie. The fortune of warnings. This is a warning label. Ooh, that was pretty good. 120, not bad at all. Okay, so we're looking about 120 sharpness, which is pretty good for this knife. It's got a decent sheath. It's pretty low profile if that's what you're going for. The knife steel is pretty good for this price. Actually, the knife steel is really good for this price. Being $12, Oz 10 is really good. You got good durability. The knife edge retention is gonna be a lot better than typical cheap knives. The corrosion resistance is really good. The only downside is that handle plastic, which the good thing though, as being a fixed blade, you can easily switch out this handle material with anything you really wanted because all it is just 2 screws on there. You can just pull those out and put your own homemade handle on there. So yeah, this definitely, if you see it for about 14 bucks, you're looking for a good, decent fixed blade, I would say this is probably a pretty good grab. Anyways, thanks for watching.